After a game like this, I always feel like I want to set the record straight. So if you didn't know, Alabama lost the Iron Bowl to Auburn 45-48 in a very weird game where even though Alabama played very well on defense, Auburn scored a lot of points. And because of that, a lot of people left this game saying, oh, this game had horrible defense. Alabama had horrible defense. And I'm like, where's that coming from? So I'm going to dispel a few notions with some statistics and show you just how good of a game this was for both teams and why I will be going back to watch it again. So contrary to popular belief, the Alabama defense is not trash. They're number 16th in the nation, actually. And they didn't play bad in this game. Auburn had a total of 354 yards. Total. As a team, 354 yards. They had 24 minutes of possession time, whereas Alabama had 35. So that makes it even more impressive that Auburn got 48 points when their offense didn't really produce a lot throughout the game. They made some plays when they needed to or at different times, but consistency, they did not have it. The Alabama defense was swarming them. Bo Nix was 15 of 30. He was literally a 50% passer in this game for 173 yards. So he's a 50% passer with less than 175 yards passing. That's not good. At 5.8 yards per attempt, you're usually not doing a serviceable job until you at least hit 7.5 yards per attempt. Did not have a good game, Bo Nix. So they had a solid-ish day running the ball, so Auburn did well in that front. But it wasn't fantastic. They had about 34 rushes for 181 yards total, 5.3 yards per carry. Like I said, that's a solid day, especially with Whitlow breaking off a few later on. They wore Alabama down. Like, Alabama's defense got tired toward the end of the game, and they really was able to grind out a few things. But total, Auburn had 3 total offensive touchdowns. Better than mine, 48 points, 3 total offensive touchdowns, 21 points, and they had 4 field goals, which is 12 points. So they had 33 total offensive points. So you're wondering where those other 2 points came from, those 2 touchdowns. They came from pick sixes, obviously. So the Auburn defense showed up when they needed to, but they also gave up 515 yards, 335 passing yards to Mac Jones and 4 touchdowns in the air. And the running joke is that Mac Jones threw 6 touchdowns because of the 2 interceptions. But one of those field goals actually was controversial. I feel like they could have discussed that a little bit more, but I won't take it from them. So this game was really, really interesting. 2 other things is that 2 field goals came on a short field when Alabama gave the Auburn the ball basically close enough to where they were already in field goal range. One field goal that came in the third quarter came on a short field in which Auburn had a 7-play, 17-yard drive. They went 17 yards and kicked the field goal. Another field goal later on came. They went 5 plays and 32 yards. 32 yards and they got a field goal. Alabama stopped them on both of those drives, but they got stopped in field goal range. And, of course, Auburn's kicker, unlike Alabama's kicker in this game, made all of his kicks. So I don't know why people keep talking about bad defense when obviously this was not bad defense from Alabama at all. I don't know how you can get to that point. Now, where Alabama did struggle and where Auburn succeeded in this game was in the discipline front. Auburn played a disciplined game. Alabama did not. Alabama lacked discipline, like all year, actually. So this is actually a really concerning point. Never seen a Nick Saban team be this undisciplined. This is why I honestly believe Alabama was not a top 4 team this year. The lack of discipline, not talent, not coaching, not the scheme. It was the lack of discipline that stopped Alabama from being a top 4 team this year. They had 13 penalties tonight. That is the most in any game of a Nick Saban team to give up 13 penalties in one game. That's crazy. The game even ended on a penalty. There were 5 false starts from this Alabama team. And part of that was the Auburn crowd. So great job of the crowd for Auburn and the fans. Y'all did a good job. And also Auburn defensive line. They had Alabama offensive lineman jumping a little bit, specifically Derrick Brown in that middle. There were at least 2 third and longs given up. Like, Alabama had Auburn dead to right and stopped. But Auburn converted some 3rd and longs because of some miscues on the defensive side of the ball. That's just bad discipline. Bo Nix's touchdown, the one he ran in early in the game, was due to bad discipline. Christian Harris just flat out did not take Bo Nix as his assignment, which Bo Nix was his assignment. Christian Harris did not take him. That's not scheme. That's not the coaching. That's not talent. That's just discipline. You can't beat teams when you're doing stuff like that. So Auburn scored so high, one, because of the pick sixes, and they took advantage of the opportunities they did have with those short field. Auburn did a great job there. They wanted to keep this game close, and they did. And they were able to pull out a victory, whereas under normal circumstances, they probably should not have won this game. And this game also shouldn't define Mac Jones. Those pick sixes, Mac Jones played way better than I thought he would. He was much more prolific than I thought he could. He converted some third and longs when I wasn't sure that he'd be able to do that. And he had some really nice throws. He had some misses here. Some of the issues I pointed out in my last video, they did show up. But for the most part, he did some great things. And I can't be mad at that. Just congratulate Auburn and move on. I have breakdowns of this game coming, of course. And I hope you stick around for those. I'm probably going to make a whole series out of it because this game had a lot to see. And let me know what you think. I'll see you next time.